down in the future. So there's so many trees we can't count, obviously. So please, if you see something, let us know that. We're working on the next round of security cameras to be installed at the Civitan Quad concession building area and those fields there. That will be a huge asset, I think. We should have a design contract for pickleball within the next week, so that project's still moving forward. And we're on about step 16 of 18 with the state for the LPRF grant for soccer turf and rugby lights. We're really close to being able to go out to bid and get that going. So exciting stuff there. If anybody has any questions, I will take them. I apologize for my voice, and I hate dogwood trees. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Social indoor advertising proposal, Mr. Wilson in lieu of Mr. Gilly.
Yes, sir.
All the way around.
This is a proposal, page 7 through 14 in your packet. A few years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point, Civitan had a program with graffiti advertising to put up advertisements in various facilities in the park. It's been a great thing. They've been able to donate back to the Civitan Club, who in turn has helped us with various projects. Social Indoor purchased graffiti advertising, so there was a need to redo the contract, so to speak. At this point, we thought it would be best for the civic groups involved if the contract, since it's the city facilities, actually was with the cities. But within the contract, it still states that the revenue is being paid out. You can see on page 9, this is something I worked with the mayor on to get the proper split to the clubs that actually drive traffic to those buildings, with the expectation that they will still help us with those funds for projects. Social Indoor is probably something you've seen in restaurants throughout the city. They have the capability to do the digital boards, which gives a lot more flexibility with advertising. On one digital board, they can get 14 ads within an hour, which is good. And the parks and the city will receive 2 of those spots at no charge. So this is a new agreement, but it's kind of based off of what we were already doing with graffiti advertising. This will go before the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. It goes to Public Works tomorrow night, and then it will go to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for next month. So your vote really would be to recommend this agreement to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, should you choose to do so. And I'll take any questions.
Questions? And you're just requesting,
I'm going to jump in here.
sure, go ahead.
Director Gilly, do you know how much money the Civitan made with graffiti advertising each year?
It was a couple of thousand, I would say, maybe 1,500 to 2,000, which we were able. One year we bought quick ball equipment for our league. Other years they've contributed to other projects. I do think the revenue will increase with this because of the increased ability to sell advertising with more ads.
It all adds up. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Questions? I'll hear a proposal to, and
I'll make a motion that we.
okay, say the, what you need to be said again.
I think your motion would be to recommend that BOMA approve this agreement.
I'll make a motion that we send this to
Ms.
BOMA
Rather?
for approval.
I think Mr. Hudd had it, and I
Mr.
can second.
Okay, good, okay. Now then, questions? All right, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Wilson / Gilly.
Thank you.
USSSA slow pitch softball, Mr. Campbell.
Yes, sir.
I know. There. Oh, no, that's us.
That would be me.
Turn your camera on.
Yes, sir. Let's see. Yes,
There you
sir.
Hey, good. State your case, young man.
We were trying to get approved to be an actual association that could be using the complex in Hendersonville to bring adult slow pitch events. I know we already use the complex for youth events for baseball and fast pitch, and we just wanted to bring some of the adult side over to you guys and offer those events there. In the past, at other complexes, we have seen a need for adults because it's a different kind of spend to a city like yours, where youth sports bring in a lot of revenue as far as like fast food, concession money, stuff like that. The adult side brings in a lot more hotel stays and high end restaurant spend as far as like total spend on a bill. You know, because of course if a husband and wife or a boyfriend girlfriend go out, they have a few drinks, they have steaks, they have that sort of thing. So it's just a little different spend. And those people come to town, they stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Just so the board's aware, Jason has reached out to us multiple times. We were trying to work on finding him some dates this year. It didn't quite work out with what we already had, the big ones planned. So we brought him tonight to go and be approved as a tournament director, just so that as Keith and I try to work with him to find weekends, he can go ahead and get those weekends booked and not have to come back to the Parks Board. So this is really for him to be approved as a tournament director.
So the date already on here for April 15th and 16th on the you need to know list, is this for this tournament or is this for another USSSA tournament?
This was just one of the first original dates that it didn't like. This was not one of the ones that's going to work out, but it was just that we were trying to get some dates back. I mean, he probably reached out. We've probably been talking. I feel like Jason and I've talked since November, trying to get this figured out. But it just, like I said, it didn't work out. We had some other ones that were in hold for some other tournaments. So this, I wanted to have him on the agenda just so that he could be approved as a tournament director. He, like I said, he has everything ready to do his tournaments. We just didn't have dates that worked when he first approached us. So that's where we're at.
The date further on your, back in the packet on the need to know is fast pitch for this year.
Yeah, April 15th and 16th's got Ken's name next to it. So that is a youth tournament on April 15th and 16th. We're still working with him on that August 19th and 20th. That was supposed to be the USA tournament that we've had for the last 3 to 4 years, and they are not coming back. So we're trying to get with him to see if that's going to work for his use and our use, because some fields opened up when they decided to go to another state. USA did. The big boys, the nationals, are not going to come here this year. So we're trying to fill that weekend with this U-Trip tournament.
And
Mr.
Jason,
Pike?
correct me if I'm wrong. This is you also would do the Jim Beam Classic, right?
We do the Jim Beam Classic, yes, sir. This is the 41st annual this year. So this thing's been going on for 40 plus years now. The lowest amount of teams we've ever had for that tournament was the COVID year, 2020, when nobody was playing anywhere, and we still had 80 teams that year.
Mr. Pike?
Yeah, is this all classes as far as the adult? Is it women? Is it men? Is it senior?
So
What is it?
It's women, men, and then we play co-ed as well. There will be senior in the future. Right now, the senior program, they schedule so far out, we haven't been able to get on the schedule with them either.
Okay. Any more
If we don't
questions?
have dates for seniors in like November of the year prior, they've already made a schedule for the year.
So we need a motion to approve him as a tournament director for our park for future tournaments, correct? Is that worded right, Andy?
I believe so, yes, sir.
All right, well then that's my motion.
Mr. Pike, second. Any more questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Nice. Jay and Zeke Foundation event, Miss Binkley. Sitting pretty close to Russ Plummer, which is troubling.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Johnson. I am the Vice President and a board member of the Jay and Zeke Foundation, and I do have with me tonight Miss Wanda Binkley, who is the President and board member of the foundation, and Mr. Russ Plummer, who is also a board member of our foundation. Our foundation was founded in 2021 after we tragically lost Jessie Binkley Icob and her son Zeke Icob when they were murdered in their home. You all may remember we partnered with the city of Hendersonville as part of the Hendersonville City Jam concert series in the summer of '21, which was in June, to have a concert. It was put on by the city as well as Live Love Nashville for the benefit of our foundation that was just kicking off at that time, and that took place at Saunders Ferry on June 22nd of 2021. So now what the board would like to do is what we're envisioning is having a Christian concert now in the park, in the largest section of the park. And the idea is to, the vision is to have this event supported by all the churches, not any one church, but the church as a whole. The way that we are envisioning this is that it would be free to the community. So this would be a free Christian concert. There's been talk apparently of this happening in the past, but it's never happened in our city. I think after today's events, I think everybody might agree that we need this. So we are coming to you asking for the opportunity to do this on Saturday, September the 16th. We were fortunate enough to be able to meet with Mr. Gilly and Mr. Evans to discuss this a few weeks ago, and the date is clear for us. This would be obviously a non-alcohol event. We're looking at, depending on the way that this grows, being a minimum of 5,000, and then we'll see how high the number gets. I wouldn't anticipate that it would be more than 10, but we shall see. So if you guys have any questions.
I move that we do it. I move to-
Mr. Gilly, have we lately had any more complaints from across the lake over there with people annoyed at the noise?
I mean, no, maybe one or two every now and then, but, I mean, for everything that goes on down there, I think all the groups do a great job of adhering to the curfew.
Gotcha. I'll tell you later.
If the board please, we'd like this to be a day event. That's what we're anticipating, is that it would be a day event so that it's family friendly and everybody can come out and bring their kids, and hopefully we would be done by dark.
You already got the entertainment lined up?
Well, we're securing funding. We figure it might be a good idea to get the funding before we reach out to the artists. So time is of the essence, and we are working on it every day.
Mr. Bennett and Mr. Pike sing, so.
Oh, well,
might wanna-
duly noted.
It's a joyful noise. It's a joyful noise.
I didn't say they sang good, I just said they sang.
Is the thinking that you'd be towards the lake in the park? Where exactly are you hoping to have stages and such?
I think, if I might lean on Mr. Gilly a little bit for the location of the park, I think it's the biggest section down there in the corner.
Will be opposite of where Shelter 8 is, down in the other corner, where there's a lot of room that nobody ever really utilizes.
Motion to approve? Ms. Rathert, second. Ms. Hellman got on in there, yeah. Any more questions? Oh, yeah.
I agree with trying to get as much money back to the nonprofit as possible, but how do you handle the food truck part of it? Can we get that money or a portion of that donated back to the?
I think if you're okay with this, I think in this situation what we could do is just have the food trucks, whenever they line them up, the food trucks just pay their $30 vendor fee, and then they don't have to do a donation back to us.
I think that's great. That's
then-
kind of what I was hoping
Okay.
we would do.
Yeah, I think we just take the $30 vendor fee for them to be there, and then however you want to get some of the, like I'll tell you, when we did your concert 2 years ago, they did pay or make a donation back to Taylor. So this would be something for you and your board to consider, talking to the trucks, percentage of their gross sales. But for us, we have to have their insurance on file anyway for them to be there. So whenever they get that, I can take their $30 payment.
Okay. I
Do
will
we
just
need
stay-
to put that in the motion?
Are you asking to waive their $30 vendor fee, or asking them to give their
I'm
$30
asking
vendor fee
give-
to
that we
them?
pass it along to them however.
Then
we
I
need
think
to
you
do
would need
that.
to make that part of the motion.
Then I will amend my motion as such.
I have an
Motion to
amended motion.
approve with vendor fees to go to the Jay and Zeke Foundation.
Do I get a second to the amended motion?
Thank you.
Ms. Hellman, I love it. Any more questions?
I would say, Mr. Chairman, too, they've done a lot of work in the community also since we had that first event. They've done stuff for families, had free ice cream days in the park for people, so I hope this really takes off, honestly.
Thank you. Just for clarification's sake, when I was looking through the application, I see that there's a $1,000 application fee. And based on the fact that there won't be any ticket sales, it will strictly be up to the attendees if they want to donate to the foundation. In all transparency, that's the only money that would come into the foundation. So if there is that $1,000 fee on behalf of the foundation, I would just respectfully request that that be waived under these circumstances, if you guys would be willing to consider that.
I would like to amend my motion to say such.
Second, okay?
We have a second and a third and a second.
I'm gonna restate the motion.
Yes, please do.
We have a motion to approve the concert for the Jane Zeke Foundation with vendor fees to be paid to the Jane Zeke Foundation and the facility fee to be waived.
Absolutely. That's it.
Ms. Hellman, yes,
Ms.
second.
Johnson, is there anything else you'd like waived?
No, sir. I will stop while I'm ahead.
Can y'all tell Ms. Johnson is an attorney?
Thank you
I
all
need to call
very
you.
much.
No, I
Please,
don't.
Andy, they might have liked me until you said that, so.
No, they
Please
like
don't hold that
you. You're
against me.
fine.
Thank you very much.
I've got a first and a second. Any more questions?
Yep.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You jumped the gun.
You're good.
You're just lucky I didn't forget it. Thank you, ma'am. Hendersonville Titans Cornhole Tournament and Silent Auction. Ms. Taylor?
Hi, I am Rachel Taylor. I am the cheer director for Hendersonville Civitan cheer program. I took over last year and brought the program back since COVID. Destiny Gann's here. She also has been helping as an assistant director. So we work closely with the football program, her dad. This fundraiser is just to help us with restarting the program last year. We don't have any funds to use. And so all the money that we charged last year was used for everything that they needed. So this is to help kind of give us a little more support and cushion to help offer scholarships for athletes who may not be able to afford it. Also help make sure our coaches are getting certified in their trainings, not having to pay their own pocket when they're volunteering for a job. We also are hoping to bring in a competition team this year as well, so that will help with those fees and travel costs and things like that for those kids who want to compete but can't really afford or commit to a program like Cheerville or those more pricey time commitments. Basically just wanted to do a cornhole tournament at Drake's Creek. So we'd use the football field. We would divide it because we're going to do a singles tournament, a teams tournament, and then a little fun kids tournament just so they have something to do too. We'd follow the cornhole rules. And then we're going to do the silent auction as well over on the side. Pretty straightforward, typical silent auction. And then we also have talked with Civitan about opening that concession stand so Civitan can get some money there as well.
Questions? I'm sorry?
Second.
Motion to Mr. Golden, second Ms. Rathert. Any more questions of this nice young lady? Anything to add, staff? Good job. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You're doing good. You're doing good. Thank you, ma'am. Bodies Race Company Hometown Half Marathon, Ms. Wygant, I hope, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Hello, ma'am. State your cause, ma'am.
So we have a race that we are doing as a half marathon. It is part of our hometown half series. And so we are doing a half marathon. We would like to do it at Veterans Park on May 27th. The race would start at 8 a.m. We would set up at 6 a.m. Race starts at 8, and then we would be done and cleaned up by 12:30.
Okay. Questions?
Just so everybody's aware, you'll see in there, there's actually two dates. It's the same route. I'm working with Megan on the route for this. Mainly, it would start and end in Veterans Park. It would go into Drake's Creek, really just by the side of soccer closest to the creek, but it wouldn't go actually around the full soccer fields, just because of it being, especially like the October date, being a date that we're probably going to have leagues playing. And I discussed that with Megan. The one thing that we would have to get clearance from is they would have to cross the actual road right there behind Sam's. So HPD would be made aware as well, just for the race for this. But this is a series they do. Megan, correct me if I'm wrong, you do already do these in a multitude of other cities, right? It's like a tour.
Yes, yes, sir. So we have races year round all over the country, but we have a hometown half series. And so each state will have a hometown half, and it'll be kind of special to that area. So this will be our Tennessee hometown half. And so the shirts and the medals will have the state of Tennessee on it.
Wait, what is the date? Because my packet says October 21st, but everybody else's says May 27th.
Yeah, we might have just misprinted. Yeah, it's funny. It is actually two applications in here. One is for May 27th.
Oh.
Megan
okay.
just
Never mind.
submitted both together when, so.
There it
Yep.
is.
So it's the same company, but two different events.
We don't see, and we don't see any conflicts on those dates, either one of those.
No, the big thing is that they get done by 12:30 because we will have, especially at Veterans, we'll have stuff starting at 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Just tough to shut down that whole park all day long because we also had the other half marathon earlier in the year. So this will actually be 3 half marathons going through the park. So as long as they're done by 12:30 at Veterans, I think we can make it work.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce.
Mr. Pike, you have a question?
Me? No.
You got your little light on there. That's
Oh, sorry.
It's on. What are you gonna do with the other half of the race? Never mind, that was a joke. I got a motion, Mr. Bennett, second, Ms. Rathert. More questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you for your time, guys.
You bet, thank you. Events application update, Mr. Evans.
Woohoo! So after we had a committee meeting last month, just about going through emergency procedures. Something that we did add in here. If you turn to, let's see.
43?
Yep, 37 and 43. I put it on here a couple times. It has been added in there that not only do they have to ask that will emergency medical assistance be provided. I put in there a big space where it says, please specify medical provisions and point of contact number, pretty much for anything that they're going to have. So they have a space now. Pretty much we're just requiring that when a tournament or company comes in, they need to be able to tell us, have some sort of a plan. If not, we'll work with them. Before it even gets to this point for approval, myself and Andy would probably already talk with them to help them come up with a plan. The other thing that was added in the additional items area, I put in here just a deadline. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Adjustments. No, that's pretty much the biggest change was adding that. We also have in here, you may not know this, but we actually maintenance built a shelf unit for our scoreboard controllers for the baseball and softball fields. And hopefully over the next couple months, our groups and tournaments get familiar with putting those back at the end of the night. So it just says, we have something in here just in writing, so if, let's just say Game 7 were to leave out some scoreboard controllers, we kind of know who did it, and we can charge them appropriately for new scoreboard controllers. Because they're not cheap, so. Andy, if there's anything else?
Only thing I would add is I talked to the mayor and the COO, and we are all in agreement that the things that we're adding here are just expanding on things that were already listed, and this would not need to go to BOMA. So I think we're good here.
So we don't need any action, this is just.
You need to vote.
Yeah.
You need to vote, but beyond this, it was not, we're not materially changing the application.
Okay.
I move to approve.
Ms. Rathert? Got everybody. Mr. Golden, any more questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Evans. Special events list, you can look that over. Any questions on that if you've looked it over? I noticed the disciplinary correspondence is not listing the name. Are we not listing the name of the offender anymore?
We are not listing specific names.
Okay.
It's public record. I mean, if somebody wanted to get the name, they could do a records request to get the name, but.
I think we ought to build a wall of shame anyways.
No, I don't think I think we'll do that. I think we'll.
Just a thought, just a thought. All right, under staff reports, Recreation Coordinator, Ms. Hamlin, I'm sure somebody down there's gonna act like her.
I'll be glad to take care of that for this evening, Mr. Chairman. The special needs egg hunt is tomorrow at Mary's Magical Place. Mary's Magical Place for the public will be closed 2:30 to about 7 for this event. There are 3 different sessions, 22 in the first session. Looks like the second session is full of 30 kids, and the third session has 12. Check in about 10 minutes before time. Please bring a bag or basket to collect your eggs in. Eggs will be filled and donated by Homewell Care Services, MBP Pro Wash, and the Junior Service League. And the shirts that the kids will be getting are sponsored by Hendersonville Civitan. Second point she's talking about is the Raptors baseball. Got about 25 signed up. They begin this Friday, the 31st at 5:30. They will be on Drakes Creek Field number 1 or number 3 for the year. We'd love to have more people registered. Contact the office or Cindy if interested. Raptors kickball will begin sign-ups begin May the 1st to the 12th. And they sort of run right as soon as baseball is done one week, the kickball starts the next week. And a lot of kids just overlap into that part of it. So sign-ups will begin on the 1st to the 12th. Kids Club, she's just working that out. This year we're going to switch it to Witten for this upcoming year. It's been Merle Hyde the last few years. The dates will be June the 12th through July 14th. She's finalizing sign-ups and should be on our website soon. Those who attended last year will have a pre-restoration session, and then it will be open to others. Please check the park's website, thehendersonvilleparks.org, next week for more information. It's going to be a 5-week program. During the summer, they'll finish up the week before school starts, take a week off, and then school will start back up. They do that because a lot of workers that Cindy has are school teachers, and so that gives them a week in between, and also to get the school ready. If you're interested, or if anyone is interested in Kids Club summer employment opportunities, we will need some camp counselors. Applications will be April the 11th through the 21st. June the 5th will be the setup and end on July 14th. Hours are 8 to 2 Monday to Friday. Please email Cindy or call the office at 615-822-3898, and we'll get you in contact with Ms. Hamlin if you're interested in working. Any questions?
Questions?
Thank you.
I meant to tell you, because health issues, I've had to completely retire from kickball.
Oh. Well, we'll have to wait
Legend goes down.
We'll have to wait a few years before we can put you in the Wall of Fame. There's a waiting
already there in my own
2-year
mind.
waiting period.
If I ever play kickball, I want you to kill me. That's all I ask. Recreation Coordinator, Mr. Fugate.
Adult softball started last Monday with 7 teams total. Adult kickball was supposed to start last Friday, but due to a rain out, will be starting this Friday. Summer 5U, 6U T-ball, and quickball registration starts today and goes till April 19th. Summer men's basketball registration starts April 3rd and goes till April 28th with 16 teams max. And that is it.
Questions? No.
Short and sweet.
Special Events Supervisor, Mr. Evans.
Yeah, so this past weekend was probably one of our. I'm not gonna steal Trevor's thunder. But this weekend was while it was a really busy weekend in the park. I mean, we had something in every single location, plus shelter rentals. But also the storms kind of threw a lot in. So I'm not gonna take away from what they had to do. But it was a pretty chaotic weekend, but in a good way. I think that was good for us as a staff to kind of get a good grip on when we have that many things going on. So. People really like lemonade at the park, so but no. that's just what's fun. I love seeing that. That's what some of the weekends are going to be like. And then on the flip side of that, like this weekend, we have normal league play for all of our sports, and we do have 2 groups that are going to be in here. So we welcome them. But yeah, as far as any big events, you probably saw, but Kid Rock is not happening. I know you guys are pretty upset. Your little tag team duo that was going to open up for him, I'll have to book you for another concert. But on the flip side of that, we do have a lot of really good events that are coming and approaching us. As you can see tonight, I think it's really cool that we have a pretty diverse offering for this year. So we are still working on some hometown jam shows too. We're trying to confirm some things behind the scenes. So they're coming. Don't worry, but we're working on it.
Thank you, Ms. Devon. Questions? Very nice. Parks and Maintenance Supervisor, Mr. Cole.
Yeah, so we're kind of getting back in the swing of things now. Like Wade kind of touched on, this past weekend was a little bit hectic, but for the maintenance staff, they did a great job at getting those fields ready, getting all those games in. So kudos to them for that. Couple projects that we're working on. I mean, just our yearly thing is we've got all the bathrooms de-winterized, and we're working on the water fountains, and so we're going to start at the dog park over there because I know we've gotten a few calls about that. So, the thought process behind that was there were a few nights that were getting below freezing, so we were kind of hesitant to start all that up, and so I think we're finally past that and going to be able to get all those opened up. And Sanders Ferry, we're about to start pressure washing all the shelters down there for the springtime so that they can be clean for everybody to use till the ducks get on them. And then, like Andy said earlier, we're just kind of going through the storm damage, taking it as it comes and as we can fix things. So it's going to be a little while, but we're getting going on it. So that's pretty much all we got for maintenance.
Question?
Did we get the one restroom with the fire taken care of? And were we able to get the vandals responsible for it?
Which one are you talking about? We've had 2.
Just
one. About as soon as we got the one open, we had the second fire.
The week of.
We had a fire at Drake's Creek restroom. That's open now. And we had a fire at Mary's Magical restroom.
That's the one.
They did apprehend the suspects there, and we're working on cleaning that up.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for the update.
Well, Shane. Any questions? Good job, good job. Assistant Director, Mr. Long.
I'll take care of that this evening, Mr. Chairman. Yes. Rec soccer, we're supposed to start this past Saturday, the 25th, but they got rained out, so they'll be making up some games. Tusk soccer games have officially begun. We have a big friendly matchup with lots of games scheduled for this coming weekend, April the 1st and 2nd. And the big Tusk tournament will be later on next month, the 21st to the 23rd. Always a huge weekend for the Tusk tournament. HHS soccer had their JV tournament this past weekend. Middle school soccer, the season is ongoing through April. Flag football games were supposed to start Saturday also and got rained out, so there's a whole lot of makeups going on from this weekend for Civitan. Lacrosse season is ongoing through April. We're looking forward to having lights added to the lacrosse field at Memorial Park. Work should begin following the season sometime in May for lights at Memorial Park, which will be a huge bonus for practice times and games at Memorial Park. Rugby season is ongoing. The big Nash Bash rugby tournament is coming up in April. That will be the 15th and 16th. And that is Mr. Long's report.
One thing I do want to speak on that. It was really cool. We had a grass volleyball tournament between the time of last meeting now, and there was 28 teams out there, which is funny. You would never think we have but it was cool seeing that field used for that. So that group will be coming back a couple of times this summer and fall.
Any questions? Assistant Director, Mr. Bruce.
Yes, sir. Fast Pitch is practicing. The Fast Pitch Local League has begun practicing. They got a couple more weeks, and April the 10th is their first day of games on that Monday. Hockey is up and getting started. The hockey rinks were used for a very, very large tournament this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, basically starting from 7 in the morning till about 11 or 12 at night. I mean, that's how many teams they had. They were full all day Saturday and Sunday, and Friday they started about 6. So between some kids and adults, it was a jam-packed hockey weekend. Middle school fast pitch, their tournament, they finished the regular season last week. They have tournament starting tonight, and it's a single elimination. We'll finish up this week, Monday and Wednesday. Middle school baseball, ongoing with games. They've got the rain out bug also, so working on getting some of the middle school baseball games made up. Civitan games started 2 weeks ago. They're practicing playing games during the week and a few on the weekends. Same scenario, they got some stuff rained out Saturday, so they're making up some stuff. Senior men, spoke with Brad and Roy this weekend. They're going to start games mid-April with a couple of divisions, and then the older division will start May the 1st. And then the high school baseball and softball and tennis teams, per TWSAA, they've been going about 2 weeks now with games, and they will go until probably mid-May when district tournaments start. Any questions?
Blank stares. Good
Okay.
job. Parks Director, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, sir. Want to thank the members of the Hendersonville Hendersonville Inline Hockey Association for the tournament Keith talked about. They had a couple of folks out there as early as 4 a.m. working on cleaning up from the rain on Friday night to make sure everybody got to play starting on Saturday morning. So they did a great job in hosting their tournaments. And they make some money off that, but all the money they make, pretty much they put back into the facility. So they have a little, I don't know if you've seen it online, a nice little Zamboni that they bought that sucks up water when it blows in from the sides. So it's pretty cool. The guys mentioned this weekend we've got a couple of tournaments in the park. One of those is a tournament you all approved a while back that Net Elite is hosting. It's all in conjunction with the Atlanta Braves. They'll have a 12 and under and 10 and under division, and Friday night, Mark Wohlers, who used to pitch for the Braves, is coming in to speak to the teams. He was a great pitcher for the Braves and beat the Florida Marlins many times, Mr. Bennett. Just in case you forgot. Wade mentioned the staff from the office. Our phones were ringing as late as 10 o'clock Saturday night to midnight Saturday to 6 o'clock in the morning. These guys did a great job making sure everything got played that could possibly get played. One of the groups was so appreciative. She's actually buying a big lunch for the park staff on Wednesday. That's Game 7, Miss Witts. We want to thank her publicly for what she's going to do with that. We have several promotions and a couple of new employees. We'll be sending out information on those guys. We're about to full staff for our full-time. We are looking for a couple of part-time. If anybody knows somebody who would like to come work at the park part-time, that would be great. We have begun budget discussions. You all will see our budget proposal, if not in April, in May, for you to recommend or make recommendations on. But I sent my first draft to the mayor and COO and finance this past Friday. If any of you have questions, you're free to reach out about that as that goes along. Ori and the staff have been working with Miss White at the Senior Center on some opportunities for senior recreation. Hope that you'll see some of those coming forward here within the next couple months, some cool ideas. And I want to thank Brian Whitaker with the Civitan Club. They have agreed to kind of purchase some new hats and shirts for our maintenance staff. So that's kind of a cool thing of them to do. I sent an email to all the clubs asking if they wanted to partner up on that. And Civitan's come through in a big way on that, so I appreciate that. Mr. Head may not know about that yet, but Brian Whitaker agreed to it, so you can vote on that later. That's all I have, sir.
Ms. Gilly. Any questions of Mr. Gilly? Thank you, sir. Round table, Ms. Ted.
If there was any hectic going on in the park this weekend, you couldn't tell it. It was a very smooth Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the most part. It was busy, really busy. So hats off to everybody that was working. So
When life gives you lemons, right?
That's right. You make lemonade.
Mr. Bowler?
I'd like to echo those sentiments. You guys are crushing it, and it's, we notice. Thank you.
Mr. Pike?
Just a shout out to the staff and the maintenance staff. With two big storms coming in back to back like that, the work that y'all have done and put in to keep things rolling is simply amazing. I can't imagine any other park having a better staff than we have.
Mr. Golden?
Just to say it's good to have you back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Rather? Mr. Bennett?
It's great to have you back.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Rather?
What everybody said here, and ditto.
Mr. Peterson?
Again, Chairman, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
And staff, thank y'all for rescheduling everything. I know you've went through so much to just get them on the books, and then you've got to turn around and find a field and times, and I appreciate that from an outsider and from a former parent that y'all are able to fit the games back in. So I'll talk to the weather people and make sure there's no more rainy weekends, but thank y'all. But thank y'all so much for everything you do. We do appreciate it, and you're right, it doesn't go unnoticed. And board, thank y'all for your involvement as well. Thank you.
Well, I've always been real hard to look at. I'm dumber. My dad used to call me dumber than a bag of hammers. But I've always been pretty healthy. And I cannot thank this group of people enough for the support you guys gave me. Both telephone calls and hugs, and I was just thinking last night, I've got the support of a church. I got the support of a wonderful orchestra. I got the support of this group right here. I've got the support of my family. I don't know how anybody makes it without that support. But I cannot ever tell you just how much I appreciate the friendship of all y'all. It has meant the world to me. I will remain hard to look at and dumber than a bag of hammers, but that's the way it goes. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Pike, second Mr. Bowler, or Mr. Either, yeah, Mr. Bowler would be good. All in favor say aye. We're out of here.
We're a little goodbye video.